Welcome to Create Before Consume. Now, here's your host, Fitz.
I think I'm just explaining the whole situation. So first off, we are having people now here. So sorry, I have to show you.
Yeah.
Look at the camera.
Wave.
So we have quite a situation. Like we have two ladies here and myself, and we have Austin here.
Yo, I'm the special guest today, and I brought a whole posse of people. My bad.
Yeah, you're bad. So
I am so bad. Have you seen all the photos we took together?
I have not yet. So I'm very, very, very. I don't even know where to start. You know?
Yeah.
I think we're starting right now here. Welcome to the Create Before Consume podcast.
Ooh.
Podcast from creators for creators. Just in case we have to restart and talk about everything else, because I think it makes the most sense now.
Right.
Austin.
Yes.
Who are you? What do you do? And what's your deal?
All right. I hate natural light photographers. I think we went over this, but I'm a videographer. I do lots of weddings, Indian weddings, and I am trying to create my YouTube channel better.
Yeah.
But I find that like it's the most important thing. YouTube is the most important thing that I want to do. And it's taken me so long to like actually get working on it. It seems like I've had to survive so much and like pay my bills and do all these other jobs and do content marketing, but not for myself. I have to do it for somebody else and get paid. Yeah. But the YouTube videos I want to make and the ideas I want to bring to life, I've been sitting on for a while. And I feel like I'm putting off my dream, you know? And I want to get deep into it because I feel like as creators, we don't talk enough about the feelings behind like the most important thing in your life, the thing that you procrastinate on, the thing you really want to do. That's the thing that you're like, there's so much pressure. It's not fun to do this thing anymore because you put so much pressure on it.
You're actually hitting the nail on the head.
Yes.
Let's talk about that because that is kind of the whole concept about create before consume. Mm-hmm. If you are, for example, you have dreams, you have passions, and you work your 9 to 5, it's not easy to make your own content. Other people, if they already invested the money, the time, the resources, it's really easy for them to be like, okay, I'm already making money with my stuff. I can hire somebody else to do my stuff. But now they're procrastinating on the dream and pushing everything away. And obviously, it's not easy getting started.
Focus on the job. Yeah. That's the hardest thing when you're like, okay, I'm going to focus on my job and make stuff for other people. But what about me? What am I really proud to make? One thing I really wanted to make is like, I love boxing. I wanted to do like boxing. Yes.
Okay,
I wanted to do some boxing photos where I'm actually like, there's this like cool thing on like anime Twitter where it was like a guy wrapping his fist in cellophane and turning the shutter speed down low. So it was like this cool like light effect. I wanted to do that in a black and white way. Like, you know those bodyscapes of like the fitness guys where it's all black, but there's two lights behind them and it wraps around their curves of their muscles. And you can see like water droplets that are lit up by the light and you can sort of make out the body from the front, but it's almost total black. So I wanted to do that with like those wispy punches. That's a photo shoot I've wanted to do for a long time. And I'm like, this is cool, but I keep putting it off. And the YouTube video I want to make about that gives me even more anxiety.
The scenes kind of sort of situation.
Exactly.
Yeah. On that note, I also need to make now a segue for the cool NFT conversation that we had a moment ago. So I will cut that probably right now into it. Because
I don't know. I think we just need 2 episodes because we just screwed the whole timeline. So let's do that.
No, or we make a convoluted timeline where we're switching from like back to forth.
Don't worry about it. It's easy if you're just like, oh, this happened a month ago and just release the podcast later. That's what I do is like I shoot stuff back to back.
Yeah.
I'll shoot stuff back to back and then release number 1 outfit this day.
Yeah.
But I shot like 50 scenes with that outfit. So I spread it out. One great thing, best tip for every photographer for scheduling on social media. You absolutely need to take your photo album, look through it. Don't schedule things on, Meta Business Suite, Facebook, Instagram scheduler horizontally. Do not go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's all the same photos in that photo album. Yeah. Schedule it Monday, 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 Monday. And then fill up all the other days. That way there's always a gap. There's always a gap in between photos that look the same. That way, if you have like 5 different shoots you do, and you have 5 different days that you're posting, you don't want to post the same images back to back.
Yeah.
So you schedule, shoot 1 on Monday, shoot 2 on all the Tuesdays, shoot 3 on all the Wednesdays. And then there's no photos back to back where they're similar. And this saved me so much time. Yeah. I'm not like taking photos from different albums, making best of. I shoot a wedding, I schedule it, it's on the schedule, I'm done with it. I upload a full album of all those photos to Facebook just in case I want to show that off to a prospect. And I'm like, hey, we did a similar style to this. Check out the album on Facebook. You can share this with your planner. You can share this with your friends. That is the ultimate marketing strategy for me, is like, there's not a great place to host your portfolio a lot of times. For me, it's Facebook. YouTube,
Facebook, like most people like that I know, they're like Instagram people, and Instagram is like highly polished social media, different than TikTok. But
that's the thing. Your Instagram is like this evolving feed, right?
Yeah.
There's always like an evolving feed on Instagram. With YouTube, you can have a separate YouTube channel for my portfolio, which you've seen.
Yeah.
But I have this Facebook, and every album, I have an album for every wedding, and then I have albums that are specifically for wedding photos that men would like. And it's literally like a Pinterest board, but it's on Facebook. And I just send this mood board to so many men who are like, oh, I'm not a big poser.
Yeah.
They see these photos and they're like, I'm more excited than the bride. I'm ready to take photos. Like, I'm so excited to get like these awesome, badass shots where it's like black and white, them smoking a cigar, twirling a whiskey. I have so many badass photos that convince the client. And I think client workflow is the most important thing.
Yeah. When you break the ice basically with the client and the client feels comfortable, it really, really helps. Because I personally think like that is my strong suit, like making people feel comfortable when I'm like, because I'm dorky, you know, and I'll do dorky stuff in front of the client, and the client is like, oh yeah, I don't feel bad or intimidated, you know, because I'm not like, you know. So I'm like, that is like my strong suit. Yeah. But obviously communication is
they
like key.
You. Yeah. Communication is huge.
Yeah. But going back to, man, we had so many good conversations about
ADHD.
like the NFTs and whatever a moment ago. So I kind of wanted to swing back to the other things you do. And now I'm building a segue that is very convoluted.
As it goes. The thing is keeping the internal logic.
Yeah, so there we go. We're keeping 3-4 storylines going. But you talked about like real estate. And I heard back in the day something with Airbnb. What is your deal with real estate? What is your side hustle situation? So you do videography and real estate?
Yeah. So here's a big thing. It's like, I started working for real estate photography. Yeah. I wanted to be in real estate. I wanted to own property. I was going to a lot of networking events and real estate events to try and get to know people. Yeah. And I stumbled upon my mentor for like Airbnbs.
Okay.
And so he was like, I have, 12 of these Airbnbs. I really automate everything. He works at Microsoft or whatever.
Yeah.
And he quit his job and he's like, I'm going to do real estate. I'm going to get in. He took all the training courses and everything, spent money on learning all the programs and stuff and optimizing it. And so what we do is now I'm like managing with Airbnbs and helping set them up too. And so we have our own properties.
Yeah.
And the most amazing workflow you could imagine. If you're familiar with the Internet of Things, you will understand how important it is to connect things with Bluetooth integration, like smart things.
Yeah.
So smart things is the most important part of it, because when the guest walks in,
you get a notification.
Yes. But more importantly, the guest is getting, every time something happens, notification. So they get a notification. The entry code is the last 4 of their phone number.
Yeah.
They type it in. They get in as long as it's their time to enter and as long as there's no cleaner inside. So the cleaner has their own code. So if they're inside, they're locked out. Cleaner leaves, sends me a checklist and photos to make sure everything's not leaking like underside the pipes. Yeah. We're good. They enter. The AC 4 hours ago was set to the perfect temperature that I want. And it resets every hour. So it says, hey, welcome. We saw that you just entered the code. Yeah. How do you feel? 10 minutes later, they've walked the property, I assume. Yeah. They get another text. Did you like anything? Is there anything we could help you with your service experience?
That's smart. I like that.
Yep. We go outside. We see the pool. We see the hot tub, the jacuzzi, the temperature settings. Those are automated because there have been guests who turned the temperature setting way high up, and they're like, this was too hot. They turned, what are they trying to boil us alive? The jacuzzi was set so hot. They're scammers who want to get their money back.
I don't know like where to start there. No, but Airbnb for people renting from Airbnb, you know, for a night or whatever, they feel like it's a meme now. It's like it's more expensive to rent an Airbnb versus going into a hotel, you know, because of cleaning fees, all the extra bills that you can add on. So
it's not as profitable as it once was.
Yeah, so I'm just like, what is the situation right now? You feel like if you own the property and you do the Airbnb, it's worth it, or it's becoming like it's less profitable? What is the situation?
So the biggest thing is like in real estate, the only thing that matters is the deal.
Yeah.
If you get a really terrible house in a terrible neighborhood, you check the numbers on the deal.
Yeah.
How much is acquired? Like, how much does it cost to acquire this house? Like BRRR, BRRRR strategy is huge.
Yeah.
If you're buying a property, it should be at 50% of what the after repair value is.
Yeah.
So after repair value, that's 100% of the house. Like the value of the house when it's finished.
Yeah.
You want to get it at half. And then you only want to put, 15% purchasing it.
Yeah.
And then you want to do 25% in renovation.
I'm not trying even to do the math in my head.
I know.
it's like
I've lost you. It's okay.
we're pulling the plank right now. Let's say you need to have some like
Right. Yeah.
space to play.
Yeah, and then you need a little bit of like money to be like, okay, let me refinance this, get the money back. The deal is the most important thing. Do the numbers work out? And if you want to calculate the numbers on an Airbnb, you can go to AirDNA, check the occupancy rate, you can check the price point, and you could check how much like other people are making in this area. And you can check like, excuse me, are they making like 6,000 per month, or are they making 1,000 per month? How much is it worth it for you personally? And normally, if you're buying a property, you want it to have at least $500 per month. That's like a pretty good minimum that people would say is like, if it's a house and you want to buy it, get at least $500 per month.
Yeah.
Interest rate, everything factors in.
So it's kind of funny because on the podcast, I actually had like people on who basically lost their home that they were renting because they raised the rent, and they raised the rent to a point where they couldn't afford it and they got kicked out. Now they're living in a van and they went viral on the van life, and it's not glamorous van life, whatever. And there's kind of like the housing crisis going on. So I felt kind of like it's weird because like I did real estate videography in their apartment.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, and now I had them on the podcast. So I'm just like, and now they have like multiple millions of views, and they're just like, I'm just like, what is going on? So I'm like, St. Petersburg with the real estate prices. So we bought this house.
They go up like crazy.
Yeah. So we bought it before COVID, and now it's like 4 times. I'm just like,
what are you gonna do? Because this is a bubble that's gonna burst.
Even if it bursts, I think it will be still fine because like we bought it for 160-ish, and now it's like probably 300, 400. Neighbor sold it for 600, so I'm like,
well, if the neighbor sold it for 600, sell now and then downgrade somewhere. Like,
but you cannot buy with that amount of money unless
now.
Yeah,
you can't buy now. You'd have to go to the boonies.
You have to believe that the bubble is bursting, but then we're going back to the whole Bitcoin thing where it's
the whole problem. Yeah, the Bitcoin
if the bubble
problem
is not popping, what is happening?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's hard to time the market too. Yeah. It's impossible to really time the market. There are so many people during COVID that were like, oh, I'm so hesitant. But the people who bought during COVID, right when it started, they had to pay a little bit extra cash to get the deal going. But 2% interest rate, that means you're paying about in total cost over the 30-year mortgage. I think the number is like you're paying like 30% of what the house's value is. At 5.2% is where you pay exactly what the house costs.
Yeah.
So
we're like I think 3 or 2-ish.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
good.
Super cheap.
That's really good compared to what a lot of people are paying, where they're paying like 5% interest rate. So that means they're paying $100,000 for the house, $100,000 in interest, and if they foreclose the house at the last payment, yeah, exactly. If the house forecloses on the very last payment, that means the bank gets the original payment that's paid off and the interest and the house. So they make a triple payday. They triple their money if you foreclose right before.
Yeah.
So that's why balloon payments. Yes, that's why balloon payments are huge. It's like you have a balloon coming up where you have to pay all this money that you weren't expecting because you didn't read the contract.
Yeah, so we do like a little bit of like, let's pay a little bit extra, you know, so you pay against the interest.
Down.
Yeah, so I'm personally think like it's better to keep all the money and just reinvest in new deals, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right strategy is. Obviously, we don't have too much money to play with.
Right.
But it is what it is. But it's kind of interesting. So how is life now as a real estate mogul?
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't at all call myself that. However, the thing is, like, if you're looking to get into real estate, one of the best things to do is like look at this Airbnb arbitrage where you rent out a place, you sublease it and say, I'm going to have people Airbnb. Is that cool? And then they're like, yeah, you can rent my house and Airbnb it out. And then you take care of it. You take care of all the repairs, all these things, and you have a profitable business model going.
That is actually...
That's huge. And also you can end up acquiring the property. So you can actually like acquire the whole property because you did a deal with them and all that pay down
here
happens.
first.
Yes. Yes. So this is a huge strategy that a lot of people are doing. That's a good way to get started. But then again, it's all about the deal. Calculate the numbers and make sure they're going to work and you have margin of error.
The last thing you want is like, what do you call those people who are just trashing your place, you know, and they don't pay the rent. And now they're living there and you can't get them out. And you're like subleasing the thing. Yes. Now you're really screwed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it can be difficult if you're like leasing out multiple days. However, my cousin just went around to Asia.
Yeah.
And she spent a year in Asia, only spent $10,000 traveling around.
Yeah, it's
and
cheap. Europe, Asia, everywhere it's kind of cheap right now.
Right.
Everything is changing though, so
and the dollar is still doing okay-ish. Like it's inflated a lot. But the thing is, you can still get around to a lot of places.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is like when I heard that, I was like, wait, so you traveled around to Asia for a year and you only spent $10,000. I'm like, why am I spending way more than that living here? You know, like I think I went into depression for a little bit because I was like, why aren't I working totally remote? Why do I have employees that aren't doing everything for me? Why do I still work with these companies in person? Why don't I have my laptop? Like I fell into a depression because I was like, I cannot believe that I have to live here and not do my travel dream and have this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
My travel show I have in the works.
Gotta vlog. Gotta do some vlogs. Talking about vlogging and like depression, I think the ladies over there are getting bored. How you guys doing?
Good.
Yes.
Good. So I think we should introduce you guys now. You're done with eating?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just grab the microphone and first off, let's start with what is your name? Because I didn't met Anne already.
You already have this. You don't want to be oversaturated.
Or you want to switch chairs? We can do the.
You want a hot seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's her turn.
Now you're in the hot seat.
Yeah, it's quite a situation right now here because lots of people are here, lots of things are happening. First off, thank you for coming to the show. Create Before Consume podcast from creators for creators. We're creating content, and I think you're a cinematographer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Explain, who are you? What is your name?
Yeah, thanks for having me. My name is Tian. I'm founder of Tiger Top Pictures.
Yeah.
I'm also a cinematographer.
Gotcha.
I have been working on more than hundreds of films and movies projects in the past, and two movies we made in the past has been in the Cannes Film Festival twice.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and our company has been work a lot with corporate companies, celebrities, and the company going to IPO. We are currently working with Alibaba right now, and we
That's
have
a big name.
Oh my god.
that Chinese version of Amazon.
Yeah.
And we also have been work with Gal Gadot, May Mas, Paris Hilton, Snoop Dogg, Coldplay in the past.
Yeah, so I'm now kind of curious. First off, like, we have a lot of people right now on the podcast. How you guys met? How did you meet Austin? How you know Anne and everybody? So what's the situation?
Oh, I know Anne.
Yeah.
In her meetup.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she has a very good meetup event. You guys should join as well.
There you go.
And then I met Austin later on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how did you get started in like videography, and what is your background? Because like I'm German, you know, lived my whole life in
nice.
Germany, and I'm
Yeah.
basically like, oh, figured out my dad is American, he's alive, met him here, moved here. You know, what's your story?
Back in China, when I was in junior high school, I have
Yeah.
a photo studio in my family's horse club.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and back in China, I started working with GQ magazine, Vogue magazine, Marie Claire, and
Yeah.
I have been working with a lot of Chinese celebrities back in China. And then I was a big fan of Lakers and Kobe Bryant.
Gotcha.
I was also an NBA reporter back in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because Kobe and the Lakers, they bring me here.
Yeah, COVID was like
Yeah.
quite the situation. Like
I
everything
know.
changed.
Yeah, it is very unfortunately, but
Yeah.
but his spirit is inside of me and also inside of his followers.
Gotcha.
And then I came to Los Angeles to study film.
Yeah.
And after I graduated from New York Film Academy, I went to New York and tried to challenge myself because I know nobody there, and I want
Yeah.
to see what I can do if.
It's not easy starting somewhere new. Like, obviously, also different country. If you start out in a different country, you don't know the culture, you don't know anything, and that's basically me too. I came to America, I didn't know anybody. I barely spoke the language, and so many barriers in your way. And it's like it's not easy. So how did you deal with that? Like, what kept you motivated? What was the dream?
I think just become a big believer of yourself.
Yeah.
And I like to get out from my comfort zone and see what you can do. Like once you are a big believer,
Yeah.
and then you are good at what you do, then you're gonna make your dreams come true. And that's pretty much my mindset when
Yeah.
I was in New York. So at the beginning, I was working for United Nations and making documentaries with them.
Yeah.
And then I work with the biggest advertisement agency in Manhattan called Gravity Media. And after that, I started my own advertising agency, Tiger
Yeah.
Tail Pictures.
Yeah, so what do you think about right now with social media? There's obviously like a lot of things going on, and social media and cinematography are kind of like colliding, and it's like, oh, let's make weird videos versus like cinematic videos. And right now it's just like a weird time where everybody's filming it with the phone and everybody else is like doing the cameras. What is your like, how do you feel like this is like impacting like the career in general, that every normal person is basically doing video and then the professional people are doing that too?
For me, I think that's a good opportunities
Yeah.
because social media marketing, social media content become popular things right
Yeah.
now. Everybody have more attention on it and they have need for it.
Yeah.
So that's good for us become creators.
Yeah.
Even though everybody can have cameras, right?
Yeah,
Because
everybody has a phone.
yeah, because I mean that even with iPhone you can create content.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the creativities and also the skills, those
Yeah.
kind of things is very hard to be replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Storytelling is very important. I mean, like it's the most important thing where most people like overlook it, and they're just like, I filmed something, it's pretty, and there's no story, no anything, and then nothing happens and nobody cares. So, what are your tips to tell better stories, if you have any, or how to get started, like learning about storytelling?
There's a very good book we study about it in the film school called Story, and they pretty much have everything about how to developing a story.
Robert McKee, yeah.
Robert McKee? Gotcha. Yeah, I'm just like always curious like how other people learn, because like I'm kind of self-taught, you know, didn't go to film school. I basically just like did a lot of like freelancing work and then like did YouTube filming myself, and then I'm like get my own sponsored deals, and then with the sponsored deals I'm like making more money, and then I got into weddings, and like it's like the self-taught way.
Yeah.
It's different than the school way. So what do you think about that though? Like as a going to school, paying the money, and then there are people like me and other people who are just like teaching themselves. What is better at school versus like
I think personally, I think it doesn't matter where
Yeah.
you're coming from, no matter you're self-taught or you study in the film
Yeah.
school. They all comes from experience.
Yeah.
The more experience you had, and the more experience you have with storytelling and equipment, and the better filmmakers you become. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you come from.
Yeah. Like for me, like in America, like schools are very expensive and it's very, they would just make a lot of money and some things are not worth going for in America, at least for me. Like if you go to school in America, some degrees cost a lot of money and they don't pay off. So you basically spend a lot of money and it's not worth the money. And you can nowadays learn a lot of things on the internet. So I'm always like hesitated now. Like, I don't know where the future is going. How do you think the future will be going? Is film school still a good idea? Or you feel like, what should a young creator do? Should they teach themselves or should they go to school or should they do both? Or what is your thought on that?
I think it depends what is good and what is easier for them, because it does require a lot of discipline to learn by yourself. And for film school, it's the easy way to do a lot of hands-on projects, and you can try a lot of different equipment in such a short time, and
That's true
especially
too. Yeah.
the networkings as well. Your professor, for example, our professor is the cinematographer for Kingsman, and he shot all the Kingsman, and he shared his experience and knowledge with us when he did that film.
That is actually a thing that is most overlooked, like where people like, oh yeah, I'll just teach myself. I go onto YouTube and I watch this and I watch this and I watch this and now I know everything. In the end, you don't know anything because like there's so much fluff and you don't know if you need that, you know, and like it's really important to have a teacher and they combine the knowledge, everything you need to know in an effective way, basically. On that note, everybody's saying basically like if you go to film school, it's more about making the contact. Did you meet a lot of people like in film school and you thought that was worth like I met this and this person, now I have like a heads up?
I think I did. Yeah, definitely, because in film school you can collaborate with different directors or producers from different classes and different majors, which is great place to collaboration. And also after you graduated, those people and those networking will help you to lead in your first gigs. So which is pretty good for young filmmaker to start a career after the film school.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. And this is like one of the things where I'm always like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And what if I would have done that? And I'm like, in hindsight, you know, you could save so much time if you get a professional teaching you. So what is like one of the most important lessons that you learned? Like that you think like, you have just in general in like for filming or like creating your films in general, like you have like what is like your favorite lessons? You have like something like that?
I think just don't get any limitation about where you're coming from, what genre you are, no matter you are young or you are females, those titles shouldn't be limitations for you. What if all the obstacles are illusions? And as long as you are a big believer of yourself and you practice, you put your hard work and plenty of time into it, and you are good at what you do, and that's pretty much all it matters.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful because like there's not many women right now who are like standing up for themselves, you know, and I think that's very powerful, and I'm very proud for you doing that and being like, I believe in myself, I do the thing, you know, and that is very powerful, and it's also like very inspiring for other like female filmmakers or content creators, whatever, you know. I'm like, and that's very good because like there's so many men that I know who do video, but I don't know too many women basically, but that's like my circle, you know. So it's like you maybe have a different circle, or Austin is saying stuff.
Seriously, like I would love there to be more female videographers who are like into the space too, and it's like so inspiring to me. Like I was so happy to like meet you, and I was so lit up. I was like, oh my god, this is like perfect. we're like a perfect like crossover. And so I'm like super excited to like get more people into it. And I always try and hire people who are, you know, women or adding more diversity to be like, hey, do you want to like do this? I want to give you like this opportunity to do this thing that you might want to do. It's so huge.
It adds a flavor, you know. It's like when you cook, you know, you don't want to cook always with the same things. You want to add something, you know. And I feel like that makes a big difference. How would you describe though your own style? If you talking about style, what makes your videos?
I think from the look, from the way of the camera movement, and also the design of the shot list. For example, like my favorite director is Wes Anderson, and he did a lot of dolly shots, and he always put the actors in the centers. Sometimes I will do something similar to that, but it really depends on the projects, and
So now I have to say something on the podcast. I have like people in the background talking, and we hear what you guys are saying.
Do you really? Cut that part out.
I have to do some editing, I guess.
Cut that part out for sure.
What did you say?
No, she doesn't hear anything because she doesn't have the headphones.
I can't hear.
What did she hear?
I was listening to her, but I'm just like, here's a. But
what we need to do is have we need to have a podcast where all three of us are sitting on the couch after this and we're just screaming. It's like, what's your least favorite food? And we're just screaming about stuff.
well, it's all 32-bit, so even if you scream, it does not matter. It's not clipping.
Oh my god, you're doing 32-bit on everything? Oh my lord.
Wow.
That's the nice thing about this one. Well, here we are. I'm talking about the gear extreme. Oh, we got a hot take back there.
Yeah.
Let her speak.
Yeah, I mean, she has a lot to say about this. America is definitely like that.
Yeah,
sure.
how would you describe America? What is your hot take?
Wait. You can speak in the microphone here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just adjusting.
She's thinking, should I say it or should I not say it?
No, she's in shock because we literally just had a conversation about this, about like the differences in America and other countries. I talked to my
let's
boss.
talk about it. What's going down?
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I talked to one of the people I worked with at work about the political implications of like, you know, do you want to live in America or China or Russia, these countries competing to try and be number one, or like live in the 7th largest economy in France and be like, it's relaxed. Yeah. It's not that big of a deal. What's your opinion? You look shook.
She's like, should I say, should I not say?
Well, America, I can tell you, I lived in California all my life. Mm-hmm. I lived in New York for 7 years, and I just moved to Florida in April of 2021. And I can tell you, these three countries can be each on its own country.
Yeah.
So different. The culture, the people, the costume, it's just so different. Yeah. You can't just say, what is America like to you? It's so
okay, so I should be different. Like, how is the state of Florida to you?
I love it. The people, the sunshine, the governor.
Yeah, it's crazy here, but it's also like one of the most fun states.
Right.
What is the worst state?
California.
Ohio. Everybody says Ohio.
I've never been there.
I lived in Ohio. Ohio is not that bad. What?
So it's not fair to ask me
Get
this
out of
question.
my studio.
I've only lived in New York, California, and Florida, so I can only say about these three states. Right. I don't know about Ohio, but I've been to other states. I don't like other states.
Yeah. You don't like other? Well, why don't you get up in the hot seat, huh? You're slandering other states? Wow.
Yeah. So on that note, now on the hot seat.
Let's go. You want to talk about crypto some too? Which was a side you want to say?
Crypto talk. Apparently, so now we have to make the introduction again. So
lovely.
The whole studio changed. We have to talk about crypto now because Anne is here. So and we have to re-describe who you are because it's a new video. So,
right.
So who are you? What do you do? And what is your story?
Okay, so my name is Anne.
Yeah.
And so I am in cryptocurrency and NFT. I work for a company called 3blocks.io. We're the Zillow of digital real estate. And I also have my own business with Austin. We do vlogging in NFT and cryptocurrency. We go to events and we interview people and
so now I'm
we
so
broadcast.
curious. I did not know about that.
Okay.
So I want to know, like, you do vlogging. Is it a video vlog? Is it just like text, or what is your vlogging?
Vlogging stands for video.
So you do
blogging,
video?
Video blogging. Yes.
Why do I not know the channel? Can you type in the channel?
So I have like YouTube channel and we have a website.
Gotcha.
And it's my YouTube channel, my Instagram is AnnVlogger, ANNVLOGGER.
Yeah.
And our website is nftvlog.info.
I have to check that out later on. So now I'm so curious. Like, Austin's like basically, but how do you get started with crypto? Because that is a very complicated thing to just like, okay, you know, let's do that blockchain thing. Everybody's talking about, like, what was your story to get into it?
My story, well, I lived in Silicon Valley, and you get the first-hand information. I first actually heard about Bitcoin, I think, even as early as 2013, and I heard the story of Bitcoin was invented in 2010. Actually, I heard in 2012 how this guy sold Bitcoin for pizza.
Yeah, that poor guy. He probably is crying every night.
Yeah, but then it never like stuck with me.
Yeah.
Until 2014, I met Brian Armstrong, the founder of Coinbase.
Yeah.
He says, this is going to be so valuable. And he gave me one Bitcoin. He says, hold on to it.
Yeah.
And back then it was $10. And
things have changed.
Yeah. And it went up to $250.
Yeah.
I didn't sell it. And then China was cracking down on Bitcoin. And so it went back down to like $100. So when I went back up to $250 some dollars, I like, okay, I've got to sell it now because it's going to go to zero. But so I sold it, and then I just forgot about it. And then a few years later, all of a sudden, one day I woke up, Bitcoin was 4,000 something.
It hurts.
I'm like, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, like if you make the math in your head and you're just like, that $10 could be like 10 times 4,000, and it's just like, oh.
But then there's always, you know, if I held on to it, I probably wouldn't hold on until now.
Yeah.
I probably would have sold it at 4,000 something, and that would not be significant, making a huge difference in anybody's life.
Yeah. So on that note, like, so you basically get started, and we did this podcast kind of like a little bit beforehand already, and we talked about it, and then people came in and we had to restart. But you mentioned that you basically bought some other altcoins and different coins and basically went into like a bad experience, and you basically lost a couple times money.
Yes.
But why do you still stick with it?
Because I still believe in it, and I just see that the wave, the trend, the curve, it's always like this. So eventually it'll go back up. It's like the stock market, but the growth is much faster. So it's like this. It'll come down, it'll go up. It'll come down, it'll go up. It'll come down, it'll go up. It's always been that cycle. And China has been cracking it down for like 12 or 13 times and never succeeded. Yeah. So no matter which country try to ban it, it still survives.
Yeah. So on that note, it's like I think we have to explain like a little bit blockchain in general. So it basically just means it's like a code that cannot be like replicated or faked, because the whole system is like basically calculating is that the right code, and every computer on the system makes sure that is the right code. And and that is basically leading to the value.
So much.
Oh, we got the drama here. Welcome to the drama show. Austin on the couch talking about stuff, and everything is being recorded.
I'm talking behind the scenes, and nobody should hear all the things that I'm talking about.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding. Like, we're chit-chatting.
Another room.
Actually, you should come on the couch all together next.
No. I want my
Specialty.
yeah.
Wow, you're the star. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
So talking about like the future of blockchain and all that stuff, I believe in it. Right now, I don't really believe in the situation we're in because there's too many people scamming people, and it's like. It's easy to make money. It's easy to hype something up, but it's not really usable. It is usable for like verifying like JPEGs, and I think that is okay. But it will make a lot of more sense if the JPEGs are like, let's say, mortgages. If the JPEGs are like credit card, when you fill something out, and if it's combined with that, then it makes a lot of sense. But right now, it's not really being done.
So it's not just a JPEG. It's tied to like a club.
Yeah, in some cases.
It's the status. Like
Yeah.
you're in the inner club. You can go to their specialty events. You're invited to their events. Like you can meet Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
You can meet Tom Brady. That's you want to be in that level. That's what's behind it. But I think the best real world user case would be that in real estate.
Yeah.
So like real estate. Fractional. I don't know if you heard about fractional investment.
Yeah.
Like more than one person invests in the same real estate, and it's just so far traditionally it's been like putting number of investors in LLC.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to manage because
who gets what and who's managing the bank account, and it's not automated, and
you had to have everybody agree to sell the share in order to sell the property, and it's a lot of trouble. And I was stuck with this land in Antelope Valley in California. There were 5 investors, and all 5 have to agree to sell. And one investor is the rotten apple. He just did not want to sell. We were all stuck, and then it went down. The value crashed. So now we get nothing out of it. So with NFT, you mint the NFT. Each person holds its own certificate.
Yeah, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, you can put it on. You can.
It's like a piece of paper, like or real cash. If you
real cash, right?
That can do stuff.
Right.
Like for most people, it's a little bit complicated. I kind of know about it. I just know how most people, like you said, there's clubs going on. But if the owner of the NFT is not following through, then it's like collapsing.
Right.
So there, you have to make really good background checks on the projects that you invest in.
Right.
Do you have like tips on that? If like, let's say somebody has no idea about crypto, absolutely nothing. What would you recommend for them to first check out to trust like a project or not trust a project? What are the red flags? What are the green signals?
Okay, without that scam, it has nothing to do with Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Yeah.
They're real. They're not the villain. They're not the criminal.
Yeah.
People criminalize it. Using it as a tool to scam people, like
it's like money.
Fake exchanges like SBF, like Sam Bankman.
Yeah, it's basically just money in that case.
Right. So I still recommend for starters, still like the big 3. The big 3 would be like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin.
Yeah.
And then. Those are stable, but the increasing value will be slower than some of the smaller caps. And then the medium tiers like Polygon, Matic, Aave, and there's a bunch. Solano.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of words,
Right.
They sound so complicated. So you basically are saying stick with the big ones
first. If you're a starter.
Yeah, and would you recommend then, like, if you, let's say, okay, I buy my first couple $100 or $50, whatever, would you buy like via platforms like Robinhood, or would you buy it via like Coinbase or whatever, or would you make a wallet and buy it through a wallet? How would you do, knowing what you know now?
Right. So this is a very complicated question. Robinhood. You can buy Bitcoin on Robinhood, PayPal, and Venmo.
Yeah.
That's for like buying Bitcoin for dummies. It's just
not really
complicated. You just buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for beginners. Bitcoin for dummies is easy.
Yeah.
And then the next level, you probably want to buy from centralized exchange like Coinbase,
Gotcha.
and there's a bunch of centralized exchanges.
Yeah.
And then the next level would be like DeFi exchange, like
So what is a
PancakeSwap,
DeFi exchange? though?
Uniswap. The DeFi exchange that is self-governance.
Okay.
There's no centralized governing body for
Yeah,
instance,
it's basically like it's
there's no
independent.
CEO, there's no CFO, there's no CTO, there's no rug pool.
Yeah.
So each person holds his own key in the DeFi exchange. You hold
Yeah.
your own key.
Yeah.
So you can't have a rug pool. So it's supposedly it's the safest and
Yeah.
not hackable because exchanges are still on the internet. Anything on the internet has a risk of being hacked.
Yeah.
But like DeFi exchange like Uniswap, it's not on the internet.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
with that being said, what is like the situation you feel like is going on right now? Obviously, Bitcoin, there's only
Mm-hmm.
a limited amount, and with that limited amount,
Mm-hmm.
it's worth that much money, and the more people buy, and
Mm-hmm.
it goes up in value, and it's not losing its value. The dollar right now
Mm-hmm.
is like going through inflation and loses a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So how you feel like, what is the situation, what the next year will be? Not financial advice, but what do you think will happen?
Oh boy, is like BRICS formed and Malaysia, India, Saudi Arabia, everybody's depegging from the USD.
Yeah.
So and then the recent incident with Silicon Valley Bank, people don't feel safe putting their money in the bank. People don't feel safe that that USD having
Yeah.
cash will protect them because they can be gone, instantly. 198 banks are in the lineup of going bankrupt, and the Fed basically bail out as Silicon Valley Bank
Yeah.
and Silvergate. And how many they can bail out?
I mean, they can print infinite money, and then
They-
it becomes less valuable.
Right.
What
So
is
they
like
print infinite
amount of money.
the money is worth nothing, right?
Yeah.
And so now we see that there's a surge of cryptocurrency price recently because
You
right
cannot
after
inflate it.
It's
It's impossible to inflate.
right, because there's only 21 million bitcoins out there.
Yeah.
And so like right after SVB Bank failed, a lot of people moved their money to crypto,
Yeah.
and because that's the fastest thing to move to.
Yeah.
It's faster, more liquidity than real
Yeah.
estate. So
Yeah,
that's a
it's
new
like,
asset.
I feel like
Uh-huh.
banks right now, so for everybody, they heard about Zelle, and you can make an easy transaction. You just send a Zelle money around. It's similar. It goes really fast, and if it's gone, it's gone, basically, And Bitcoin is kind of the same way. You can send money very, very fast in large amounts, really easy around.
Cross border.
Yeah, cross border, across anything, and it's really hard to steal too. If you're like kind of like follow a couple rules for safety, you know a little bit about how to keep your wallet safe. Can you explain that a little bit?
How to keep your wallet safe?
Yeah, just in general, like tips like that. How you deal? Like you will probably not tell me now your Bitcoin wallet.
Well, no, just get a code wallet, a
code-
hardware like Ledger Nano. That's the
Okay.
most popular one, Ledger Nano X, and that's transfer as much
Money.
of money, cryptocurrency to a cold wallet as possible. You hold the key, and because it's independent cold wallet hardware, it's not hackable theoretically.
Yeah. So on that note, I kind of have to highlight Austin. He's like playing with a cable and the cat.
I'm trying to fish the cat.
Instead, he's fishing me. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
I'm trying to like fish the little wire over there. It's like literally my phone charger, and I'm trying to
He's
like.
being a crazy cat. He
I
was
know.
outside.
He was batting it. He was coming towards us, and then I got Tien to like. She was like, she tried to pet it, and I was like,
Yeah. On that
He
note,
won't
dog
come.
people or cat people? What are you guys?
I love
huge
both.
argument.
Both animal person, then basically.
Right.
How about over there on the couch?
Tien will let me
Both.
speak first.
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the favorite though?
I have a cat. So I have photos of me with like the Olin Mills style, like cat in the background.
That's my favorite photo of yours.
Yeah, it's so lovely. Can we do one of you?
Yeah,
I could do it right now.
Right now?
Yes. Once we're done. Sorry.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right now. Cut the podcast. Do the cat photo.
I got you. We can do that. Yeah. Oh, on that note, so now I'm like curious. What are the goals for this year? What is going on? What do you want to say on the podcast? What moves your world besides like crypto in general?
Oh, what moves me? My faith in God.
Yeah.
And what moves me trying to do good in the world, trying to save the world.
Yeah.
And I think in general, especially America, we're going in the wrong direction.
It's a weird time. I'm like, I have to say, like everybody is like very depressed right now because
Right.
like war in Ukraine, then the COVID, then like people losing their jobs, inflation. I don't know if you know about like ChatGPT 3 and 4 and all that. That stuff is wild too because like AI can do everything what we can do now, and it's becoming scary.
Right. The founder of ChatGPT just made a statement recently that we should all go into UBI, Universal Basic Income, because eventually, inevitably, there's going to be CBDC.
Yeah.
Eventually, inevitably, 85% of the job will be taken by AI.
Yeah.
And how are you going to feed people?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a very the time's moving very fast.
Yeah, very, very fast right now. It's crazy.
Personally, I don't like the direction it's moving into. It's just too, it's scary. It's very scary.
Change is scary.
And I'm actually quite expert myself in prompt engineering, and I've been using AI programs quite a lot.
Yeah.
I use Stable Diffusion for image generation. I train AI models to make sure they get certain stuff.
So you experimented already with
Yes.
like Stable Diffusion? I actually want to get into that a little bit because like I did the DALL-E, I do ChatGPT 3. I'm like big into that stuff.
I use it professionally, not only for work all the time for freelance, but like companies I'm contracted with and companies that, you know, are sort of in my circle.
Yeah.
I make articles for all my vendors who work with me constantly, and I'm like, here you go, this is good on your website. Put me as a writer, blah blah blah. Don't do a guest
That was
post.
a quick copy and paste.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you also have to edit it. It doesn't sound very
You should
good.
edit it. I mean, like theoretically speaking.
Yeah. You do have to prompt it to get it to come out sounding good, and you have to be like, okay, I don't like this. As a professional, I don't think this is a good tip. I don't think this is good enough. A lot of times I'll like tell it to like pull from Reddit top threads because sometimes there's a lot of information that is niche that comes to the surface, but I use it all the time for work, and I've trained AI models to specifically recreate my person like Austin.exe as a Laura in Stable Diffusion.
So let's talk a little bit about what is the perfect prompt. Like if you would describe the mindset, what is the perfect prompt for you right now at the moment?
Perfect prompt, 100% perfect prompt is if you're new to ChatGPT or a veteran, you're going to use this.
Okay.
So you are ChatGPT. You are going to give me a response to my question, but also you're going to create a secondary response when everything is done, telling me how I could improve my prompt, and then a third response of suggestions for more things I should prompt you with. And so, first you get your output. Second, ulterior prompt is like, oh, you could improve this prompt by doing this. Third prompt you could get is a generation of what they think you should be asking next. If you're like, hey, I need my next month's newsletter, it's about this, this, and this, pull from these resources. And then your third prompt is, hey, I'm going to tell you something related. If you're sending out this type of email, you should also send out this type of email. So like you need to ask ChatGPT how you can use ChatGPT better, because that's the only way. It'll tell you, and that's how you improve, and that's the way where you are getting your own brain doubled by AI, but
Yeah.
you're also going and doubling back and having it teach you how to learn it better.
Yeah. Can you actually give the mic to her? Because I have like a filmmaker question right now. Because I experimented with ChatGPT 3. For everybody who's on the podcast right now and does not know what ChatGPT 3 is, it's basically a program that is managed to answer questions with all the data and knowledge that we have from the internet. But I was basically asking ChatGPT 3 to write me a movie script, like Trenton Tarantino style. But we have a low. No.
Oh, do you want to
It's too
stop?
late. But basically, sorry. Let's repeat the question. So Trenton Tarantino film script with the twist of a street fight, like what was it again called? Street Fighter. And basically, I got like a perfect script, and I could change the script. Would you write your own scripts, or would you write with ChatGPT 3 an AI script from a different director? What do you think about those?
It's interesting because today we had a meeting with our team and we are talking about ChatGPT and we did a testing, like asking the OpenAI if you can write a feature film script.
Yeah.
They do. They can.
Yeah.
The problem is the creativities and also the directions and also a lot of like details and it's like AI can do some things, but not often, especially for feature film. Normally it's like 120 page or even more.
They just like limit, kind of.
Yeah, and it just very complex process with creative team, and with ChatGPT, I think that very good with pitch deck maybe.
Okay.
Or just a very
Small project.
short format or basic introduction of a feature film project, what it's about, what kind of character will be included in the film, and pretty much they're very good at with those smaller projects. Yeah.
I personally like. I'm kind of. The biggest and best skill that you can learn right now is like to describe different styles. Like a lot of movie directors. You know a lot of like eras of time frames and then you can use prompts like, hey, I want a movie in the style of.
Yeah, and that role play is important. If you're like, pretend you're Quentin Tarantino, write me a car commercial for Nissan. Yeah. And it's like, it makes no sense, but it's a funny video that you could be like, okay, we're going to put this on social.
That would actually be really good right now. Like, you would get the script.
Yeah, so something like that can be really good. It's really good for idea generation. Yeah. The specifics are hard. You have to prompt it very, very difficultly in order to get like more human writing and to get a lot of detail out of it. Yeah. But then again, you're like, all right, now write page 1 of that. And then now write page 2 of that, building on the next thing. Now write page 3.
It will do that, actually. Like, it will follow up with that. It will pull from the old data. Right. So you could do that. It's scary good.
Right.
Scary good.
And that works. It helps. It's going to be complicated and you're going to edit it anyway, So it's really good for idea generation at that level, and then you have to prompt and dig a little bit deeper if you want to write something. Yeah. But the more specific you get with anything I'm writing or any sort of idea or anything, I always use ChatGPT. I use it daily. Yeah. The biggest thing for me was the biggest role play for me is like, ChatGPT, you are now my life coach. I'm going to give you some circumstances of what I'm doing and what I want to do and how to tie those things together.
He's playing ChatGPT 3 as a video game and you're the video game character.
Exactly. I'm the main character in the ChatGPT log, and so I'm basically like prompting this journey. It's like, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah.
This is actually a really cool idea. I really dig that.
Exactly. Everybody should do it for their own lives and be like, yo, how could I get like a free life coach? You can use it as a resume analyzer. You can use it as a business idea critique. I
use it for emails usually. Like, yes. I'm too lazy to write an email. I'm like, hey, write me a nice email that is friendly in this style and send.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's really powerful because like I'm 100. Foreign and I cannot really write that well. And it's like, this is like game changing. Like
Yes.
you wouldn't know from who it came. What is also kind of scary because right now you don't know what is real on the internet because everything could be deep fake. Everything could be like Photoshop, whatever. And I think like with blockchain, if you can implement blockchain into video, photo, and you can verify something, it will be game changing because like you mentioned like what was it? The AI that you train.
Yeah,
Stable Diffusion.
Yes.
With Stable Diffusion, you can fake anything. Like you could make up a fake crime scene,
Right.
and like blackmail somebody. It's like,
Oh,
he
sure.
did that, you know.
Yeah.
And like I have evidence. There's a photo of him doing this, and it's actually not real.
Yeah.
Like,
And for me, I actually use it in my business in a very specific way. Instead of generating an image, I have Stable Diffusion open. I use an algorithm that is specifically made instead of using an algorithm like PhotoGen or using whatever the most popular one is. It can't come to my mind right now, but like the Stable Diffusion official trained AI model to
there's different
use in
versions.
the Stable Diffusion app. I use the app but with a different model specifically for designing patterns and art. And I will type in Redbubble best-selling, Society 6 best-selling, art, pattern, pillow, stuff like that, and it'll give me a pattern that'll be cool, and I'll be like, dinosaurs fighting unicorns, and then I'll put text over that pattern, and I'll sell that as a shirt, as a pillow, as a duvet cover, and put that up on Redbubble. And so, like, that's a very powerful way you can generate a lot of art and design and interesting stuff very fast without doing that extra work. And also, a lot of people talk about the ethics of AI drawing and AI art. There's a huge conversation.
it is scary.
Yeah, and it's going to put a lot of people out of business no matter what, but that's like, you know,
Happens.
the economy as it exists today. The biggest thing, you can take all public domain images and train AI algorithms to draw with those public domain images so you don't have any copyright infringement, and you can verify this. And also, I made an Austin.exe LoRa, which is an addition. So you add Austin.exe in the prompt on a surfboard on a beach in Paris. There's no beaches in Paris, but it makes it so.
Yeah.
And it uses Austin.exe LoRa, which is an AI model specifically trained to draw me.
Yeah.
And so when it draws me, it's trained, draws my face, everything, and then it goes back to using the normal generation AI.
Yeah, it is very complicated,
Yes.
to say the least.
And it's difficult to train.
Yeah, it's difficult to train. It's like a lot of hoops that you have to download and things
Right.
to do. And like there's also like a ChatGPT free version that you can download right now. It's called Llama or whatever.
Yes.
And it's like, the whole thing is like, it's so complicated. The future is wild and crazy. Austin, you have like any like things that you want to shout out for yourself?
Things I want to shout out for myself, obviously, you can find Austin Zelli, like Austin Zeli.
Yeah.
And check out what I'm into. But the biggest thing that I want to like impress upon an audience is to experiment with these AI tools and how they can improve your life. Ask for advice, whatever. But there's so much out there that's new technology that you have to capitalize on. It doesn't matter how late you are to the game, because the game is infinite. You're always improving your life.
And
you
it's
can
all
add so much to
mindset.
that.
Like it's always like thinking win-win because like
Right.
in the end it's all about community. And I'm like, you said it. It's like you have to have a good mindset and good things will come to you, kind of. You know. And it's like having a good mindset changes everything, even in a bad situation. You have like anything that you want to shout out or mention still on the podcast?
Sure.
Yeah.
Everyone who interests in me and my company, you can check our Instagram at Mrs. Tianliu, MISSTIANLIU, and also our Instagram account of Tiger Top Pictures called Tiger Top Pictures on Instagram.
Your
So-
company's incredible. I love like Tiger Tail pictures, like everything. You have,
Yeah.
like,
Also, I will
stuff.
put the links down below. It will make
Thank
everything
you.
easier.
Okay,
Nobody
yeah.
wants to type anymore today.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you
of
want to
course.
just
Yeah.
click.
Throw 50 QR codes up on the screen. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really want to deliver the message is no matter where you come from, no matter what's your background, always a big believer of yourself, and
Yeah.
you can achieve anything you want in your life, and you can become anybody you want to be, and just go for it. We'll
Yeah.
only live once.
No
Yeah.
anxiety.
Yeah, well, I mean, like with the internet, there's so many possibilities to be discovered, and just do your thing, you know. And as long as you keep on pushing, putting in the work, you will go somewhere. How about you, Anne?
So my page, my website is nftvlog.info,
Ooh, okay.
and my Instagram is AnnFlogger,
Yeah.
and my Facebook is Anshin, ANNSHIN1.
Yeah.
Those are my 3 main places to go to if you want to find me. I am hardly on LinkedIn because it's not a social.
Yeah, LinkedIn is weird. Like LinkedIn, I don't know how I feel about it. On the one side, it's a social media platform, but everybody's like pretending, and everybody's just like being like so nice for corporate. But it's like it's not about creating stuff. It's not about collaboration. It's
Right.
more like who
Less
would you
social.
hire? Would you hire
Right.
me? And it's like it feels weird.
Right.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets buried. You don't find when people try to add me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I go home, I forgot who I added.
Yeah.
For some reason they just get buried. I just don't find them anymore.
Is there also like what is like a project or a blockchain that you're really excited about? Obviously not financial advice, but I'm very curious to know where you put your eggs in which basket.
Well, I believe NFT is definitely the future, and there's definitely a case for real estate in NFT.
Gotcha.
So the website is 3 blocks blocks.io, and we are raising seed round. We're
Okay.
trying to raise 780K, and we already raised 400K, and we're trying to raise additional 780K. So contact me
Gotcha.
if you're interested, and check out the website. That's the
Yeah.
future of real estate transaction.
Yeah.
It's instant, 30 seconds, you're done.
Okay, gotcha. That's interesting. So, with that being said, we did a podcast. It was a quite different podcast because we never had so many women on the podcast. We never had so many people on the podcast. Usually, it's only 1 or 2 people max, and now we pushed the limit.
Yeah.
So are there any questions to me or?
Can we do the next podcast with everybody sitting on the entire couch?
We
We'll
could do
bring
that.
5 people here and scream into one microphone.
We can do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're still on camera?
Still,
Oh my
a little
goodness.
bit. I mean, like it's not cut yet.
Don't do anything naughty yet, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And I have to edit out like all the audio in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
I'm just kidding. Oh. Yeah. Anyhow, on that note, thanks for watching the Create Before Consume podcast. Rate this podcast on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you will find it. Hopefully soon on Facebook, because apparently I have to put it on Facebook.
Yep.
Yep. But I like Spotify videos, so check it out. Have a good one.